Good afternoon. Welcome students, faculty, welcome parents Harriet Scott Monnig, welcome a host of friends that will then tell me we're coming. Welcome to the more artistic brothers Ben and Hank. Welcome everyone to Will's Monnig's senior speech. Alright, so I was up pretty late last night. I'd asked Will to text me some details about himself to help me write this opening speech. Feeling totally uncomfortable doing it without his help, I stood by my phone waiting for his text. I was restless and filled with anxiety. What would I say about Will? It had to be good and fair, but not too over the top, because I didn't want Ben, my favorite Monnig twin, to be jealous. Then I remembered the episode of WandaVision when Pietro is introduced, and it's the Evan Peters version of Quicksilver instead of the Aaron Taylor Johnson version. Then when I watched it together, Charlie Smith was there too. And we had this moment where we all just looked at each other with jaws dropped, like, whoa. Well, in that moment, it occurred to me that Evan Peters is my favorite Quicksilver character, which means he's been my favorite Monnig twin. And that makes Will the Aaron Taylor Johnson version of Quicksilver. It's a good version, but it's just not my favorite. Those who know. Anyway, I was up late, like I said, and I didn't get much sleep. Hopefully, all this makes sense. And now, here's Will Monnig to give you his version of an Augusta Prep senior speech.
Good afternoon, and welcome to my senior speech. To start, I would like to thank a couple of people. First, my parents for helping me through life and through my speech. My friends for sending me good pictures for my speech. Mr. Miller for being a great advisor. Ben for being like a brother to me. And Mr. Kennedy for letting me change my speech topic so close to his date. Also, I would like to shout out Elijah because he asked me to. Now, on to the important stuff. When we seniors were first asked to fill out a piece of paper on our senior speech topic, I had no idea what I was going to do mine on. So, I decided to do it on the topic of favoritism. But when I began to think about it, I realized that wouldn't be smart to do because that might make my mother mad, and that's never a good thing. So instead, I decided to do it on something that I'm way more passionate about and something that nobody can live without: sleep. To start, let's talk about the facts. There are 4 different types of sleep, each grouped under one of 2 sections: non-REM sleep and REM sleep. The first stage of non-REM sleep is obviously non-REM 1, and it is when someone starts to transition from wakefulness to sleep. During this period, your brain, heartbeat, breathing, and eyes slow down, your body relaxes, and your muscles may twitch. It only lasts for 5 to 10 minutes, and your brain is still working relatively normal. The next stage is non-REM 2, and this is the longest stage. The American Sleep Foundation says that on average, we spend about 50% of our sleeping time in non-REM 2 sleep. During stage 2, your body temperature drops, your eye movements stop, your breathing and heart rate become more regular, and you become less aware of your surroundings, unless you're Ben and you were never aware of your surroundings in the first place. The last non-REM stage is non-REM stage 3. Stage 3 is a period of deep sleep where any noises or activity may not wake you. During stage 3, you are completely relaxed and your blood pressure drops and you progress into your deepest sleep. Also, during non-REM 3, your body starts its physical repairs. Finally, you have REM sleep. REM stands for rapid eye movement and occurs approximately 90 minutes after you have fallen asleep. And it is during this stage that your brain activity most closely resembles your waking brain activity. At this stage, your brain lights up, your body is relaxed and immobilized, your eyes move rapidly, and this is where you dream. When you sleep, you start in non-REM 1, which lasts about 5 to 10 minutes. Then you move to non-REM 2, which lasts about 30 to 40 minutes. then Non-Rem 3, which lasts about 40 minutes, and then you go back to Non-Rem 2 sleep again for about 30 to 40 minutes. Lastly, you transition to Rem sleep, which in the beginning lasts about 20 to 30 minutes, but can increase closer to an hour as your sleep goes on. Then you go back to Non-Rem 2 and start over from there. The amount of time spent in each stage changes throughout the night as you go through your sleep cycles. A normal person goes through about 4 or 5 cycles during a normal night of sleep. However, many things can make a night of sleep not normal. The term used to describe sleep that is not continuous throughout the night is interrupted sleep. When your sleep is interrupted, the sleep stage may be cut short. There are a number of different reasons that can cause interrupted sleep. The Sleep Foundation is an independent, non-profit organization that creates dependable resources to help people get the sleep they need and deserve. According to the Sleep Foundation, 4 main things can cause interrupted sleep: older age, sleep disorders, mood disorders, and lifestyle habits. As you become older, you naturally sleep lighter and you are more easily woken up. Sleep disorders such as sleep apnea, where your breathing starts and stops during sleep, and restless leg syndrome, which is a strong feeling of needing to move your legs, can also disrupt your sleep. Mood disorders such as depression and bipolar disorder can cause you to have sleep disorders. Lastly, lifestyle habits such as no exercise, smoking, and excessive alcohol or caffeine intake can seriously interrupt your sleep cycles. If any of these things are happening to you, you should go talk to a sleep specialist. The last thing to talk about sleep is the different kinds of sleepers. Usually people only label themselves as one of 2 things: night owls or early birds. But according to the work of Arkady Pudilov, some Russian dude that studies sleep, people tend to have one of 6 different sleep patterns, not 2. These chronotypes are an early bird, afternooner, napper, night owl, swifts, or woodcocks. An early bird is someone who is most alert from 9 to 11 a.m. and gradually gets tired throughout the day. An afternooner is tired both in the morning and the afternoon, but you are alert between 11 a.m. and 5 p.m. A napper begins the day awake and is fully alert until about 11 a.m. Then after that, they get tired in the early afternoon until about 3 p.m., then have a second burst of alertness until about 10 p.m. A night owl is usually tired and sleepy at the beginning of the day, but doesn't really wake up until about 10 a.m., but you are usually pretty alert after that. Swifts are awake and alert from the moment they wake up until the moment they fall asleep, and woodcocks are the exact opposite and are tired all the time. Knowing what kind of sleeper you are can help prevent fatigue and help you stay better concentrated during school. The next thing to talk about sleep is your sleep schedule. The American Academy of Sleep Medicine recommends that you get 8 to 10 hours of sleep each night. I thought that was highly unlikely for students to prep. So then I asked Stephen, Pedro, Mia, Charles, Porna, Maymay, Sage, and Beatty how much sleep they each get a night. This is the hours of sleep they each get a night, and as you can see, no one gets the right amount of sleep. No one except Chuck, but Chuck's perfect, so that's okay. So, since we know that the majority of us don't get the amount of sleep that we should each night, I have a question. Why the heck does school start so early? I know that at least some of my friends and I think that school should start at 9 instead of 8. This would make it easier for us to get more sleep, which would make us all healthier and happier. The usual response to this is, well, then the school day would end an hour later, so you would go to bed later, in a very snarky voice. But that's not true. I have made this schedule to propose a new school day. One that starts an hour later, but ends at the same time. To do that, we would have to eliminate M period and do clubs during lunch or before school. So, if anyone cares about when school starts, we should petition the school to change the start, but that's just my opinion. If you want to get it changed, come talk to me and we can connect with Jives about it. That's all I have, so if you fell asleep from my speech, that's okay. I don't really care because everyone needs more sleep. But if there's one thing you should remember, it is that, in the wise words of Harry and Monnig, sleep is precious.